Once again, welcome back, my dear kids. This is Mithun Raj, your science teacher, signing in from this part of the world. Welcome to the world of science, and it is the continuation of the yesterday's class regarding acid basics and salt. So, last day we are discussing about neutralization reactions. Okay, neutralization reaction. And this class we will discuss about some of the properties of acid. Some of the properties, not only properties in daily life, how we can use this acid or how we can use wisely this acid. Okay, in this part, what we are discussing? We are discussing about acid reacting with some types of metals. Okay, some types of metals, and that metals we are using in home, like copper. Copper utensils you are using in your home, isn't it? Maybe copper beakers are there, maybe copper small pots are there to store water, to store milk. In modern days, mostly we are using steel, but in olden times they used copper because steel was not that much available during that time. But in some places, I have seen they are using copper and some brass types of utensils. Utensils means that plates and all we are using in our kitchen. Okay, all spoon, plate, tumbler, all things, beaker, cauldron, everything called as utensils. Utensils. So here, what is the reaction? Okay, take a small amount of copper oxide in a beaker and add dilute hydrochloric acid slowly. What is this copper oxide? You studied it, I think. No, you studied it in 9th standard. Copper oxide means some metals like iron, copper, or aluminium, most of the metals, if it is in the pure form and if we keep it in free atmosphere or free air, it will react with the atmospheric moisture. Understand? It will react with the atmospheric moisture to form its oxide. For example, iron will give iron oxide. It is nothing but what? Rust. I think you already know that, isn't it? Pure iron reacts with atmosphere moisture to give what? Iron oxide, and the oxide form of iron is called as rust, and this process is called as corrosion. Okay? Corrosion. Actually, the metal is being damaged slowly. So it is not a good thing to keep a corroded utensil in our home because it is dangerous. Okay, the metals are good, but some of the metal oxides are dangerous for us. Without knowing that the food we are keeping in that types of metal utensils, it will be very dangerous for you. Okay, that's why these things are included in the textbook. Only a few things are there. And after this class, if you have any of the utensils made by these types of metals, try to remove it from your home because it is not healthy. Okay, you cannot taste that, but actually that food will become poisonous in your home. Let's see what is happening here. Take a small amount of copper oxide in a beaker and add dilute hydrochloric acid slowly while stirring. Stirring means that stirring of that spoon. In the case of lab, we are using a simple small rod of glass to stir the solution. What happens to the color of the solution? What happens to the copper oxide? So, the color of the solution becomes bluish green and the copper oxide dissolves. See, you know that pure copper will react with atmospheric moisture or water to give copper oxide. How to reverse this reaction? Okay, how to reverse this reaction? We can add some acid into it. If we add some acid into copper oxide, the bluish green color, the solution will become bluish green. Okay, bluish green solution, and this copper oxide will dissolve in that hydrochloric acid. What all acid we will take, it will dissolve in it. So the bluish green color of the solution is due to the formation of copper. Okay, copper, not copper chloride. It's a salt. See, acid react with oxides of metals to form salt, isn't it? You already studied that. Copper chloride is formed in that reaction. So, application level questions like this will come. Okay, take a small, this will be like 2 mark questions. Make a small amount of copper oxide in a beaker and add dilute hydrochloric acid slowly while stirring. What is the color of the solution? What happens to the copper oxide? The color of the solution becomes blue, green, and copper oxide dissolves. The blue-green color of the solution is due to the formation of copper chloride. Let's see that equation. This is the definition. The main part is this one. Metal oxides give plus acid will give salt and water. Okay, another reaction with acid. Metal oxides, iron oxide, copper oxide, lead oxide, aluminum oxide, all will react with react with acid to give salt and water. In this case, which salt we got? We got copper chloride and water. Understand? So, reaction between copper oxide and dilute hydrochloric acid. This equation you must study. Is it balanced? No, it is not balanced. You need to balance this equation. Okay? Just try to balance it. Not a homework, nothing. If you are interested, just try to balance this equation. Take this screenshot, write it into a paper and balance it. CuO plus HCl will give CuCl2 plus H2. It's very easy to balance. Isn't it? How? Just add 2 here. Finished, I think. Yes. No, I am not telling you want to do it yourself. Okay, let's move to the next part. Okay, this is the reaction. This is the photo of that. Okay, this copper oxide in a small glass plate, and this is the solution of hydrochloric acid. And if we are adding it with this one, and we will stir it, we will get bluish green solution, and copper will dissolve in it. But this is important one. Why should curd and sour substances not be kept in brass and copper vessels? Anyway, daily you are using curd in your kitchen, isn't it? You are making butter from it, you are making cheese from it. Anyway, cheese you are not making, maybe paneer and all you are making from it. What do you say that? Not milky curd, what do you say in Kannada, like masuru, something like that. I forgot about that. Leave it. Anyway, that's not our part. If you write masuru or bajki, you won't get marks in English medium school. Okay. So why should curd and sour substances not be kept in brass and copper vessels? That's a good question. You already studied acid will react with copper oxide to give copper chloride and water. Okay. In this case, see, curd and other sour substances, for example, lime water you made in your home, orange juice you made in your home, or vinegar you are keeping in a copper or brass container. What will happen? Anyway, automatically the surface of these utensils is covered with the oxides of that metal. Okay, it is a natural phenomena. It will react with the moisture in the atmosphere and it will become the oxides of that metal. So if we are keeping or if we are storing acidic food materials, okay, acidic food materials inside these copper containers, what will happen? This acid will react with that copper. Anyway, the presence of water is already there. In curd there is lots of water. Vinegar also there is water. Orange juice there is water. Lemon juice there is water. In the presence of water, what will happen? The acid will react with this copper oxide to form salt and water. Therefore, when they are kept in brass or copper vessels, the metal reacts with the acid to liberate hydrogen gas. Okay, hydrogen gas and harmful products by spoiling the food. Not only spoiling the food, it is also not good to eat that one. Spoiled food means poisonous food. Okay, don't eat it. And don't store these types of food materials in these types of metals. Steel is not a problem, okay. Actually, the utensils nowadays we are using, it is not made up of iron, it is made up of steel. Steel won't react like that. Okay, steel is non-corrosive material. Okay, that's why we are making steel. This one is an important 2-mark question. And this one you want to try at home. Okay, this one you want to try at home. Maybe some of your parents already know. Just use lemon or tamarind juice, which is acidic in nature, and rub the copper utensils which you have in your home. Some of the utensils we are using in our home, if we check the bottom of that particular pan or particular vessel, we can see uh, you have kadais, you have pans, you have cauldron in your home. The bottom of that utensil we are using copper. That we will study, I think, in next chapter. Okay, why we are using copper at the bottom? Because copper is a very good conductor of electricity and also heat also. So if we are using the copper at the bottom, what will happen? Easily, what all things we want to heat or we want to cook, it will get cooked easily. Understand? That is not the question here. Just go to your kitchen, try to get any of the kitchen utensils which is made up of copper. Okay, nowadays completely kitchen appliances are not made up of copper, but the bottom of the kitchen appliances are made up of copper. If we check, we can see the color of that bottom is changed. What you want to do? You want to rub it with a lemon piece. Okay, otherwise tamarind juice also you can use. Better thing is lemon piece. Anyway, in your home there will be lemon. If we rub with lemon, what will happen? The copper vessel will glow. Understand? It will glow once again. What is happening there? These acids, citric acid present in this lemon react with that coated copper oxide. Okay, and it changes that copper oxide into salt and water. And after we clean this vessel, again it is new. Not new, it will be very glowy or shiny. Understand? That metallic luster will come. That will metallic luster, what is it? We will study in the next chapter. Okay, ductility, malleability, and luster capability of these metals we will study in the next chapter of chemistry, not other biology, in chemistry. So, because lemon and tamarind, lemon contains citric acid, tamarind contains tartaric acid. So, acid in the presence of water will react with what? Oxides of copper to dissolve it. Okay, that black color or greyish green color of that kitchen utensil or that pan is due to the presence of oxides of copper and reacts with oxidized copper to dissolve it into salt and water. Thus, the copper vessel is cleaned. Just try it at your home. You have lemon place in your home. You will have utensils which is made up of copper. Just try it. Same thing. Another property of this one, like we have time. Yes, we have time. So there is a lots of chemicals which resembles acid. Understand? Resembles acid. So lots of chemicals are there. For example, glucose. You know, what is the equation of glucose? C6H12O6. And alcohol variety of alcohols are there. Mostly we are using ethyl alcohol. It's like C5H8, something like that. I forgot the equation. Anyway, equation you don't want to study in this chapter. So these types of solution also resembles acids. Okay, alcohol and glucose. Their property is almost like acid, but they are not considered as acid. Why? This is a good example for that equation. Not equation, that property. So it is also another experiment we want to do. Take solutions of glucose, alcohol, hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid. Take some of these solutions. Fix 2 nails in a cork. See, this is a rubber cork. Rubber is bad conductor of electricity. Iron nails, good conductor of electricity. By seeing this circuit, can you say that it is an open circuit or closed circuit? Switch is closed here, but here if you don't add the solution, now it is already had a dilute hydrochloric acid solution here, but if you don't add this solution into this beaker, this circuit is open circuit. See, because this rubber cap is insulator, it won't conduct electricity. Understand? So if we switch on this switch, the bulb won't light. Understand? Current will come here and it will stop here. But if we add some dilute hydrochloric acid solution and we are switching on the switch, what will happen? The bulb will glow. Why? Because acid solutions are good conductor of electricity, because it will release H plus ions, and H plus ions will move from here to here and it will conduct electricity. Understand? In the case of any acid we are taking, okay, acetic acid, tartaric acid, citric acid, hydrochloric acid, nitric acid, malic acid, whatever acid we are taking, the same property we can observe. But alcohol and glucose, they resembles acid. They look like acid, but they are not considered as acid. Why? Because they cannot release H plus ions. That is the main thing. Understand? That is the main thing. In the equation base, they look like acid. Okay, they look like acid, but they cannot release the hydrogen ions. That's the difference. That's the importance of this part. Okay, it is also an application level. See, glucose and alcohol, bulb will start glowing. If you are using hydrochloric acid in this circuit will become closed circuit, because hydrochloric acid can conduct electricity. Not only hydrochloric acid, most of the acid can conduct electricity. Repeat the experiment separately with glucose and alcohol solution. What do you observe? Glucose and alcohol solution do not conduct electricity. Does the bulb glow in all cases? The bulb will flash showing in the case of acid. All acids contain hydrogen, but not all compounds contain hydrogen are not acid. H2SO4 contains hydrogen. CH3COOH contains hydrogen. HCl contains hydrogen. HNO3 contains hydrogen. If a solution must release hydrogen, it must contain hydrogen in it, isn't it? In the case of glucose, hydrogen is there. C6H12, lots of hydrogens are there. In the case of alcohol, all alcohol are based on hydrogen. But we cannot tell it as acid. Why? Because they won't release it. Okay, that is the difference between acid and other solutions. Okay, these are organic compounds, glucose and alcohol, but it won't releases hydrogen during a reaction. That's why we cannot consider it as acids. Okay, that's a very important and a very good question. I hope you understand this experiment, isn't it? This experiment actually mostly they won't ask it. Maybe for 2 marks, 3 marks means if you have time means you can draw. If you don't draw also, you will get the mark. 3 mark means you must draw. Mostly it asks like 2 mark question. But you must know that glucose contains hydrogen, alcohol contains hydrogen, and all the acids contains hydrogen in it. But the presence of hydrogen in a solution we cannot conclude that they are acidic in nature, because they won't release hydrogen ions when reacting with water. Okay, only acids have the property of releasing this hydrogen ion whenever it is reacting with the water. This is the definition for that. Okay, this is the definition for that. And after that, how many percent responsible for the acidic property? X plus ions. Okay, this one is an important thing. What is responsible for the acidic property? An important question. Important 1 mark question. The H plus ions is in solution are responsible for the acidic property of the acid. Okay, if there is no H plus ions, it won't show acidic property. Let us discuss this one. This is the definition of that one. Already we discussed about that. Result. HCl dissociates into H plus and Cl ions. These ions conduct electricity in the solution, resulting the glowing of the bulb. This is the answer you must give for that question. Understand? Anyway, notes also I will give you. Notes I will give you. And this I think is in textbook solution also it is there. I will give that as notes. Now you just take the screenshot or just go through this video, you will understand this. See, the result of that experiment is HCl dissociates into H plus ion, releases H plus ions. These ions conduct electricity in the solution, resulting the blowing of the bulb. On the other hand, glucose solution does not dissociate in ions. Therefore, it does not conduct electricity. That's why we cannot say that glucose is acidic in nature. Okay? Conclusion from this activity, it can be concluded that all acids containing hydrogen, all acids contains hydrogen, but all compounds contain hydrogen are not acid. Very important point. Understand? What is the conclusion of that experiment? This is the main point of that answer. Okay? All acids contains hydrogen, but all the compounds which contains hydrogen are not acid. Okay? So, that is why though alcohol and glucose contain hydrogen, they are not categorized as acids. The question will be like this. Why alcohol and glucose are not categorized as acid even though they contain hydrogen in it? If the experiment is asked, you want to write from the beginning. Otherwise, from this, no, the notes I will give. I think you are not that much capable to make your own sentences during examination. Anyway, it is an easy experiment. You already know. I think you understand this experiment also. Understand? Even though some compounds contains hydrogen in it, they won't release hydrogen during reaction. That's why it is not considered as acid. But all acids contains hydrogen in it. Okay. So, my dear kids, that's the end of this section. Time is over. So, I hope this part also was a bit more easier than the last one. We have already completed 30-35% of this chapter. Now, mostly there's a lots of applications regarding this. Okay, that all things easily we will finish. Alkalis and all will come, pH, pH scale, strong acid, weak acid, antacid. A lot of things is there. A lot of application level questions are there from this chapter. Okay, actually the chapter is not small. The notes I have made, that is very big. Okay, sorry. So that's it. That's signing off from this part of the world. Stay at home, stay safe, my dear kids. Whatever works is been given, and all the students must do the work. I will type it in the group again. Okay, that's it. Stay at home, stay safe, be in good health. Bye bye and Jai Hind.